All right. Don't keep ladies waiting at the doorbell. It is Eleni.
Hi.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing better now that I've gotten rid of some of the audio and visual delays.
Yes. One of my favorite things to say is technology wants to do everything but work. I think that's
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah. Tis the season.
Woo!
Fantastic. Well, it's great to have you back on the show, and
Thank you. Good to be
excited
here.
about your new single. In fact, I'm going to put some iconography up here before too much longer here. Boom, the artist, well, all the stuff. All the stuff. Look at the bottom of the screen, people, and you know who the artist is. Look at the bottom of the screen, and you'll know that there's a new release here. If you don't mind, and with your permission, at some point here, once we get past sort of these introductory things, can we listen to the song?
Yeah.
All right.
You're asking an artist if you can listen to her song? Yes.
I hadn't asked you that yet, and so I thought I just assumed, but then
Yeah.
it dawned on me and it occurred to me, well, maybe she might
I
be like,
appreciate
nah.
you asking, but
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, first of all, how have you been doing since the last time we were on the show? Last season, you've been doing some new projects. We've traveled together. We've done different things.
Yeah.
There's a lot that happens.
There is. It's funny because this has been a year a little bit more of writing and trying to release some things, which always feels a little jarring because like being in motion and doing shows and that kind of thing is a little bit more tangible. When you're
Uh-huh.
doing, as you know, when you're doing the creative process, it's not an immediate result. You're working and you're working. And
Right.
so I've had to kind of like remind myself a few times, like, you haven't been stagnant this year. You've actually been creating, which is really important part of the process. So
Yeah.
doing a lot
Yeah.
of thing in the in between on different projects, and not just my own stuff. And yeah, it's been a good creative year.
Yeah. So, big picture, this song that we're about to listen to, which I'll let you set up here in just a minute, but the song that we're about to listen to, is that a part of a project that you're working on, compilation project, larger work, or is this something that is a standalone? Where do you position this in sort of the catalog of Eleni Naomi music?
For now, this is a standalone piece. I am
Okay.
very open to God saying, "Hey, let's create something more around this." But yeah, as of now, it's a standalone single. So
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. I am, let's see, let's get off of that screen. I can go ahead and set the song up if you don't mind.
sure.
I'm going to show the video or share the screen of what you have here. All right. All right. I think people can see some of that. I got to get us. This is my first day.
It's all right. Take your time.
That's that's. I think that's the right place to be. Go ahead and set us up.
All right. So this is actually my second uh, worship single, which is funny to say because I'm a worship leader as is part of what I do, but I also am, an artist, and I've typically released something in the genre that I call soul jazz. This
Hmm.
still has some of those fun chords and voicings and things that kind of have that jazzy feel. However, it's very much a worship song. But the song is really about one of the true prayers in my heart throughout my life since I've walked with the Lord is getting to a point where I can truly do what the scripture asks of us, which is to continually be in prayer. And
Hmm.
that means like continually be aware of his presence around with us, around us, inside of us. It's so easy to just go into this mode where we're doing everything we think to do and we're just kind of being autonomous. And I really know that God's heart is he wants us to walk in dependence to him and in
Right.
intimacy and relationship with him. And so, I always kind of come back to that place where like I really long to learn that discipline of like keeping my eyes on him throughout every moment of life, throughout every, good, bad, exciting, monotonous. And so this I feel like is a song about that. and also just kind of acknowledging the fact that he is with us in everything, in the good and the bad, and in the chaos and in the silence. And so, yeah, it's really special to me. It's funny because when I was writing it, I definitely knew it was going to be intimate, but like the whole process from actually once the song was finished to like recording it and knowing it was going to come out, it's definitely felt like one that kind of leaves me vulnerable because it really does show just kind of a deep prayer of my heart. So especially once we get to like the bridge,
Yeah.
like take that. But
So you didn't originally set out to make this a Christmas song, but I think that there's, once we get a chance to listen to it here, I think there's a lot of allusions that people will be able to gather from that, and you can connect some of the dots for us. But right now I'd like to listen to the song and kind of engage everybody at that level. Comment section is turned on today. If you guys have any questions, comments, statements, ideas, suggestions, all the things that a live stream audience is apt to do, we appreciate that. Stay classy, folks. Stay classy.
From the morning till the sun gives up the sky, you are closer than the light. While I'm sleeping, when I cannot close my eyes, you are with me through the night, calling here. My eyes pull into focus till I can see you clearly, and the rest fades to gray, darling, at your appearing. You are life, you are good, you are God. And I'm in love, I'm in all, I belong here. From the stillness to the violence of the tide, you're the anchor holding tight. While I'm resting, when the enemy arrives, you are steady every time, calling here. My eyes pull into focus till I can see you clearly, and the rest fades to gray, darling, at your appearing. You are life, you are good, you are God. I'm in love, I'm in all, I belong here. I know you, I've seen you. I long to live in the awareness of your gaze. Love you, I need you. I want to spend my days abiding in this place. My eyes pull into focus till I can see you clearly, and the rest fades to gray, darling, at your appearing. You are life, you are good, you are God. My eyes pull into focus till I can see you clearly, and the rest fades to gray, darling, at your are life, you are good, you are God. You are life, you are good, you are God. You are life, you are good, you are God. I'm in love, I'm in all, I belong here.
All right. Amazing work there.
Thank you so much. Can't ever listen to that or share that without mentioning how just blown away I am every time I work with Jonathan H. Warren. He's the one on the beautiful violin.
Yeah, I was going to say, give a shout out to some of the folks that you work with on that project.
He's always just amazing. Like he's got such an ear for just where to place not only the notes but also the tone and the feel. I feel like he's very expressive. And then Bailey Hager is actually the producer, and so she was the one who brought this all together. Just all the layers and everything, and all of the kind of dreamy like background stacks of background vocals and stuff were all her masterworking. She was just amazing. And yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the one on the keys and obviously the one singing, and I wrote the song. So
fantastic. Yeah, it's always good to give a shout out to the folks that bring these projects together. I know I take songs in and sometimes go into the studio thinking the song is going to sound a certain way, and then once we start playing around with different ideas, it turns into something totally different than what I thought that it was going to be. And you know, oftentimes, I think every time, better than what it was that I thought originally in my mind, when you have those sort of collaborative elements that go into a song and people who are coming to the table. I wanted you to just kind of share some of the reactions that you have. I know that this was a song that you said keeps you maybe in a vulnerable position, as you know, you're sharing a lot of things from your heart in the context of this song. But what are the reactions as you've shared this with your family, friends, and those around you?
Yeah, I think the most kind of profound and maybe far-reaching response has really been honestly just that they're really moved by it, and I think it's because of the vulnerability of it. It gives permission for the listener to kind of get to that spot as well. So that's been really, you know, I'm sure you know this as an artist, as a creator. That honestly is like so dear to my heart, because it's like obviously I want it to sound good and I want people to like think, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. But when it really actually hits the heart, especially when I know how like completely vulnerable it makes me and how much it really is a prayer of my heart, to hear that people connect with that part of it is so special. So I'm really thankful that God is using it in that way. One other thing I'll say on that is he's also using it to speak to me, which is super fun. And I think that's a very shared experience with as an artist and creator too. It's like throughout the whole process, there's points where it's like God's kind of like leaning in, like, hey, I know that you're doing this to like minister to people, but like listen up, because this is for you too.
Yes.
And so that's been a good experience. One of my favorite comments, it's a little bit on the lighter side, was, "You're my favorite Disney princess." That actually came from that was actually from Jen Coe. You know her.
I can see that. There's all types of layers.
By the way, if anyone's listening that has an in to voice a Disney princess, I think I've mentioned this before, but dream of
mine. All right. We'll use the Erskine Music Show as the stepladder to Disney.
There we go.
That's what everybody does. Exactly. They come here and then they go big. I love it. When I heard it, I was like, that's Anita Baker. That's Anita. Took an Anita Baker song and took some of those chords and put that into a song, and she's trying to revive some of what it is that I grew up listening to. Yeah. Some of those rich layers in the background and some of those overtones, kind of, like you said, a little jazzy, a little bluesy, a little R&B esque. Yeah. And some different things there that I really appreciate. And then obviously your vulnerability and I'm one of your biggest fans.
Thanks, Sarah.
Just supporting what it is that you're doing, and excited anytime that you've got projects that are out there. Want to highlight what it is that you're doing. We got a chance to hear this song live last weekend at Salem Community Church in Clarksville, and a big shout out to Lydia Walker Athey and the folks at Salem Community Church who did a fantastic job of hosting the Christmas concert the other night. Did you want to share a little bit about that experience? Because this song was a part of that evening, and I think people really enjoyed that as well as the rest of the evening.
Yes. So I will say thank you as well to everyone who put that together and hosted us so beautifully. Thank you, Lydia. It was a really beautiful night, and
thank you, Lydia.
Definitely one of those like that kickstarted the holiday season for me, like in a real way. Like obviously, decorations are going up and all that kind of stuff, but I felt the shift in my heart that night for the Christmas season and how special it is. One really cool thing that happened though was actually I didn't even realize until the day after, but I did share this song live, and knowing all the things that we've kind of discussed about how it's really a cry of my heart to the Lord to like be in this place. And so I was going through my photos and videos the next day, just starting to kind of figure out what I might share on social media. And when I pulled up the video that my husband Thomas took, shout out to Thomas, he's amazing.
Shout out to Thomas, where you at, baby? Woo-hoo.
He's like, my forever supporter, roadie, all the things. He's like, he does all the things. Anyways, so he took a video of the song, and I realized that the timestamp on the song was at 6:46. And I'm going to tell you why that's significant. Over the past few years, that is a number I have seen, and it's one of those things that like repeated over and over again so much. And finally the Lord kind of put some meaning to it, and it was like every time I would see that it was 6:46, usually PM, because you know me, I'm not an early morning person.
Yeah, I was gonna say
6:46.
True confessions of an artist here.
It was like a call to my heart to like, hey, like almost him saying like, come spend time with me. Like I miss you. Like, let's hang out kind of. And it's funny. This is a little bit comical, but also the way that God speaks to me. The reason that 6:46 is the number is because of the verse. I'm not going to remember what book it's even in, because 646 is the thing that has stuck. But
folks who are watching this, though, you got 66 opportunities. Let's give them a door prize if they win.
Hey, yeah. If you find the scripture, you win. But it's actually this the scripture that says, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and you don't do what I say?"
It's in the Gospels.
And listen, like that's the way that God deals with my heart. Like it's so beautiful how he can like romance me, but it also is very direct and very like to the point. And the point is like, I need you to come and like spend this time in my word and spend this time in prayer with me. Like we need this. So anyway, when I saw the timestamp on that was the moment that I started this song, I thought that is just so specific and so God, because he knows obviously the meaning that he gave to that number for my heart. And that's what this song is all about. It's a prayer about getting to that place of consistent intimacy with him and just walking truly with him. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really special.
Yeah, that's amazing. I had teased just the idea of you sort of collaborating and at least combining this song with some type of Christmas atmosphere. How have you been able to make that connection? Because I think when we first started talking about that, you maybe were going, but then, obviously your husband, being your biggest supporter, was like, yeah, I see it working together in conjunction with some of the themes of Christmas. How have you been able to not jam it into a Christmas season, but like see how part of that is an expression in the Christmas Advent season?
Oh yeah, it definitely, I feel like it fits perfectly, because as you know, when the holidays start, there's a million things that are pulling for our attention. Mm-hmm. There's a million things that also are pulling our attention away from Jesus and the fact that he is the center of the season, the reason for the season. And so this being such a call to like focus our hearts back on him, I think is completely relevant to to the Christmas season for those who are his. You know, he longs for this time to be a continuation of our intimacy and our, you know, our celebration of him. And so I think it completely fits right in that vein.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Certain projects become a springboard for other things. If you're an artist, if you write one song, you may have written 4 songs, and because there's a lot of the same vibe, same energy, same kind of thought process, and you can't say it all in one song. And so sometimes the songs spill into 2 or 3 songs, or they spill into a project, or it becomes a theme. What is this song like? Where does this song lead you to next? Do you stay in the atmosphere of worship, or does this bring you back to jazz, or where are you feeling a leaning or a calling these days from this song?
To be perfectly honest, I'm definitely toying with the idea of including it in something that I already was planning on doing, which is a Christmas EP for next year.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I, a few years back, released a Christmas single called Ebenezer. So you can go check that out. Shout.
Shout it out. Yeah.
That's on all the streaming platforms. And then I have another song that I have wanted to release as a Christmas single called Winter No More, which you are well acquainted with. That one doesn't exist anywhere. So sorry to mention it. You can't actually get that anywhere unless
wait a minute. It does exist. You have to come to one of our live shows.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Exactly. This is a perfect opportunity.
You have to come to a Christmas experience, because that's
yes.
what happens.
If you were, we played at Salem Community Church. Yes, no,
we did not.
I was gonna say I don't remember that being on the set list.
We put Ebenezer in that one so that we
okay, yeah.
To be like, hey, here's a song you can't get.
Which my wife, by the way, said that among her favorite songs is that song Ebenezer. Just absolutely incredible, beautiful song. And so I think, you get a lot of support from our family, from our world, in terms of, yes, a Christmas EP. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
And delightful.
As you know, that gives you lots of time to prep in every way. So it feels like that's probably the project for next year.
Which is funny because Christmas music, and I don't know if there's people who are watching this who are artists, you already know this, but not everybody who watches the show is an artist. The Christmas music is not done during Christmas time.
Nope.
Your Christmas music is typically done in the summertime.
Christmas in July.
Yeah, it's Christmas in July for artists. And if you really don't have those songs by, August, September, it's not making it onto a Christmas album.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we had talked about working on Winter No More for this holiday season, and it kind of fell to that exact thing where it was like, there's just not enough time to do this the way it needs to be done. So yeah, God knows what's up. He knew that I needed to wait and do it well, and I think the collection of Christmas songs is going to be great, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. So
yes, and per the announcement that I made the other night, I'd been saying, this next year, I'm going to record this song, Love Has Come. Next year, I'm going to record the song, Love Has Come.
You know.
And it took 4 years of next years before project.
And about 10 different titles.
Exactly. And so the creative process is interesting. It's interesting, Eleni. We have folks who watch this show who have been following either you or I. If they've been following what it is that I'm doing, they are also following what it is that you're doing, because a lot of times you're with me on various tours. You're my music director for Erskine Music, but we don't have a recording contract that says, okay, you're going to do a project, the money is already there. So we're literally going out and doing the shows, and then when we have money or we can make enough money to go and record another song, the projects kind of come out piecemeal, and it's a slower process. But I would say, and maybe you would confirm this as well, but I think it's a more rewarding process.
Yeah. It definitely allows you a chance to kind of get into the bones of each song, and to actually experience each song at a time, which is really great. When you're releasing a collection, obviously that's wonderful to put that out there, but it kind of naturally spreads, attention and all that kind of thing. So
yeah, and to your point, the titles of the song change over a long period of time, and it just, to me, it's a and I guess to you as well, but it's just a sense of you care about the song, but you've cared about the song for a long time, and you've watched it grow and mature to where it is, and then you get a chance to finally release it. And so that's a lot of fun. And so next week, you want to talk about what we're doing next week?
Are we doing something next week?
No. That's almost not a joke.
Joking. Yeah, so we're heading to South Carolina. Yeah. But we have a stop along the way. You better handle these details, because I'm gonna be honest. The Erskine trips, I know when to show up for when we leave, and then I kind of just go with the flow.
Let me look into the camera and say, I need some people to call me back.
There we go. It's about to get real.
If you are
music show.
not to call out anybody on my own show here, but can I just maybe put a pin, geolocate? I need some people in Johnson City.
Hey, we love Johnson City.
Hey, I love Johnson City as well. So I know I have some meetings there, so we'll at least stop in Johnson City, say hello to some folks. There may be a performance. Keep watching the schedule, but I know there's a performance in Monk's Corner, South Carolina, and Bono, South Carolina. I don't know how to say these places, and I feel embarrassed because last weekend I was in Memphis and somebody said, "Hey, we're from South Carolina. Where are you going to be?" And so I tried to say the names of the place, and they were like, "We never heard of that before." And I was like, "Well, it's probably because I'm not saying it correctly." I don't know. Just watch the schedule. It's all over the place. And so great. Well, I love it. Love the project that you have out, and all the stuff that you have going on. Great idea about doing a Christmas EP.
Thank you.
And,
and if you're listening and you support what I do, feel free to donate towards that cause, because funds are definitely a big part of that.
Hey, what is your website? Let me get that up there.
EleniNaomi.com.
Hold on. We're going to.
And there's actually a Dream With Me button on the front page of that, if you would like to.
Okay, I see it. Yeah, let's do this. I'm going to let you go. I'm not going to let you go without doing this. Helping a girl out.
Thanks, Erskine.
Boom. Oh, this is good. I like this. All right, folks. Dream with Eleni. Help this young lady out. She's getting some things done in this world. And, for all the things that you hear in the news that are negative, for goodness sake, we get a chance to hear something that's positive, and somebody that has a good heart, who is actually going out and reaching people, touching people, with the love that she has for Jesus, and she's communicating that through music. And so if you guys can, then you should. If the Lord inspires you in that direction, then please do support what it is that she's doing. You have followers, likers, subscribers on various platforms. Do you want to mention any of that? They can follow what you're doing on which platform would be the best?
I feel like I am the most active and responsive on Instagram. I also have a Facebook page, which I check in a little bit less regularly, but I am there. So either way is great. And all of those I've kept it very simple. Eleni Naomi on all the platforms. So make it
fantastic. And so that's great. Thank you so much for coming on the Erskine Music Show today.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have you back at some point and talk about whatever the latest, greatest adventures are. We'll push into season 10 in January, and I'm sure we'll be up to some good at that point.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Another banner interview. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.